Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Koki of the Seahawk Recap Show, and welcome to the Seahawk bye week show for week 8. Your Seattle Seahawks are on a bye week, which means there's no game to be played today, but I'm here today to discuss how I'm feeling about this Seahawks season so far. If you like these videos, please make sure you give it a like. It lets me know if I'm doing a good job with these videos or not. And if you'd like to, please subscribe to the channel so that you don't only not miss out on any future content, but also I'm trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of the year, so that would be greatly appreciated. So, first things first, let's go over the Seahawks team stats and their record 5-2, second in the NFC West, points for 193, points against 136. Home record is 2-2. Away record is 3-0. And they're on a 2-game win streak. And man, I just gotta say, this season has been very, very weird. Just as a whole in terms of football. But for your Seattle Seahawks, they're second in the NFC West, like I predicted they would be. And we've got teams here. We've got the 49ers at 5-2. We've got the Seahawks at 5-2. And we have the Rams at 5-2 as well. In terms of offensive statistics, though, total offensive yards per game is 358.9 total yards, 11th in the NFL. And that's just amazing. The to see that this team is 11th in offense this year, in offensive yards this year, is amazing. Considering it is the first year of Clint Kubiak, considering it is the first year with a new quarterback in Sam Darnold. Great to see. The passing yards per game is 244.4, seventh in the NFL, and the rushing yards per game is 106.1, 19th in the NFL. So the passing yards per game is what I kind of expected. I kind of expected this team with Sam Darnold, with JSN, with Cooper Kupp on it, with Corey Horton on it. I expected this team to be very good still in the pass game specs because that's just what I expected Sam Darnold to do. I expected this team to be good in the passing game because they were last year, even though it was a new offensive scheme and it was the Ryan Grubb scheme. I think this team really has some very good pass catchers on it from last year's team. So I'm not surprised there. What I am surprised, though, is the rushing yards per game is only 19th in the NFL. And for a guy that comes in Clint Kubiak, new offensive coordinator, and the emphasis that Mike McDonald wanted on running the football. They're running the football a lot more, which I really do like. And it's more of a West Coast style of offense, something that Pete Carroll used a lot when he was the Seahawks head coach. So overall, I'm really liking this team. Just wish the rushing numbers were a little bit higher, but the carries are up, so that's always good. For defense, man, this defense has been so great all year long. Total yards allowed per game is 305.9, 10th in the NFL. That means they're a top 10 defense right now. And that's brilliant to see that they're doing really well in the total yards allowed. Passing yards allowed per game is 230.1, 22nd in the NFL. That is not so great. And I'm going to be a little bit more stingy on that. I know there's injuries. I know you don't have Devin Witherspoon. I know you don't have Julian Love, and you haven't had them basically the entire season. But that is very not good. Bottom half of the league right now, and I look at that and I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, yeah, you have injuries to the secondary, losing your second best corner or your best corner on defense and losing your best free safety on defense will do that to you. But I really looked at that stat and went, really, that's actually where they're at. And I was really perplexed because I think this secondary is one of the best in the NFL. So we'll get to that a little bit later. But the rushing yards allowed per game, 75.7, first in the NFL at stopping the run. That right there is why I say this team is one of the best teams in football on defense because their run defense was abysmal last year. They were not they were not a good run stuffing team. They couldn't get as much pressure as they wanted last year. And Mike McDonald came in, went, okay, we're going to be focusing on the run a lot more. We're going to stop the run. And it's worked out with the players that he has on defense now. Byron Murphy getting into his second year, being at the nose tackle position, that's been immensely helpful. Adding Nchonu Nwosu getting healthy back and getting Demarcus Lawrence in the off season, that's also helped. And Nicky Mamori, who can forget the second round pick out of South Carolina, him slipping into that box safety kind of role, that's been immense for him. So I really like how this team is positioned. They are third in the NFL in sacks with 23 and interceptions. They're eighth, fifth in the NFL. So this team overall is just amazing. I love the way that these stats are working out. You just need your rushing attack to get a little bit better, and your secondary will get better over time when you get Devin Witherspoon and Julian Love back. I have no doubt. But this team is playing really phenomenal football over the last 7 games. Top performers of this Seahawks team. Let's talk about the passing leader, Sam Darnold, 7 games played, has a completion percentage of 68.2, 1,754 yards. Yards per game is 250.6. Has 12 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions, has been sacked 9 times, 3 fumbles, 2 fumbles lost. And honestly, I gotta say, I'm gonna have more to talk about in my Ryan Spotlight players when it comes to Sam Darnold. But man, I've loved how he's played this season. It's been amazing. I think the offensive line giving up only 9 sacks in 7 games has been a drastic improvement. I've loved what I've seen from the offensive line. A lot of people haven't, but I like how Sam Darnold is maneuvering in the pocket. I like how they are getting a little bit of help in the run game for this offensive line. But in terms of the pass game, this is the kind of player I thought Sam Darnold was going to be, or was hoping he would be. Him under center has been great. He's used the pass game in the play action pass, especially to hit some big shots downfield. So nothing against Sam. I think he's done a fantastic job, and I think this contract is starting to look really good in the first year. Let's get to the rushing attack. Let's get to Kenneth Walker. 7 games played, 95 attempts, 430 yards. Average per game is 61.4 yards per game, 4.5 yards per carry, and 3 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker is back. He has had some injury concerns throughout his career, and ultimately, his numbers are not at 500 yards yet. I understand that might be disappointing for some people, but I really like this running back tandem. I really like Kenneth Walker. I think when he runs to the outside, sometimes the blocking just doesn't hold up. But when he runs to the inside, a lot of the time, Gray Zabel, Charles Cross, that whole offensive line is doing quite well. And I think Kenneth Walker still has the explosiveness. He still rips off a couple of big runs per game. He's had 1 game so far over 100 rushing yards, so that's nice to see. And I think he's doing pretty darn well considering last year's numbers. Zach Charbonnet as well. I'm going to give him his flowers. 6 games played, 72 attempts, 205 yards rushing, 34.2 yards per game, 2.8 yards per carry, 5 touchdowns. And this is the tale with Zach Charbonnet. You're getting to see what Clint Kubiak is using both these running backs for. This is a 2 running back tandem. This is a 2 running back system. And Kenneth Walker might not get as many touchdowns this year, considering when they're in the red zone, they're going to use the big, powerful legs of Zach Charbonnet to just run through people in the red zone. And that's why his yards per carry is so low, is due to how he's being deployed in this Clint Kubiak style system. So I'm not too worried about his yards per carry. And I think Zach Charbonnet has done really good work this year. And I think Clint Kubiak has really split some of the carries up toward these two guys. And I think this is really good strategizing from the rushing attack. Let's talk about Jackson Smith and Jigba. 7 games played, 50 receptions, and as of this recording, is leading the NFL with 819 yards, averaging 117 yards per game, 16.4 per catch, and 4 touchdowns. Now, JSN, I will get more in depth on him, as he is another one that I have highlighted in my spotlight players, but he he is he's amazing. Like, this guy, he is about to have a historic run as the Seahawks #1 wide receiver. And he has done just so much for this team since coming into it. He was a compliment to Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. They are both no longer here. So he's taken the reins of this team. And honestly, in a couple of years, I think this guy will be in the conversation as one of our best wide receivers of all time. Let's get to Cooper Kupp, the new addition. 7 games played, 24 receptions, 293 yards, averaging 41.9 yards per game with 12.2 yards per reception and the 1 touchdown. Amazing Rams player. Love seeing him in a Seahawks uniform coming back to the Pacific Northwest this year. And he is doing exactly what the Seahawks brought him in to do, which is playing in the slot role previously held by Jackson Smith and Jigba last year. And exactly what you want from a veteran route runner like Cooper Kupp. He is a very vital player to this team. He's a third wide receiver, and he's only got the 1 touchdown, but he catches he catches the balls that are thrown to him. He's a very reliable target, and he is he's really working in this Clint Kubiak system. So good season from him so far. Hope to see it continue, and hopefully we can get him more than 1 touchdown for the rest of the year. Let's talk about the tackling leader, Ernest Jones the fourth. 7 games played, 30 solo tackles, 29 assisted, 3 tackles for loss, half a sack, and 3 interceptions. No forced fumbles. Ernest Jones, what a beast. 59 tackles in total on the season, leads the team in tackles at the middle linebacker position, and he is just amazing. Continuing off where he was last year, I really loved him last year. I gave him all the praise in the world, and this year I'm going to give him all the praise in the world here. He is the guy on the field who is doing all of the defensive signals to make sure that this defense is performing at its top notch proficiency on the field. And that's why he wears the green dot. Ernest Jones, from coming over from the Titans to the Seahawks, that trade last year, mid-season, completely flipped this inside linebacking core, and it's paying off in droves with Ernest Jones at the head of it. I can't believe how good this guy is, and I can't believe he's in the Seattle Seahawks uniform, because I cannot say enough about this guy. So he's having a really good season this year. Let's see if he can keep it up. Let's get to the interception leaders, and it's Ernest Jones again. 7 games played, 3 interceptions, 59 yards on those interceptions, and 5 passes defended. What can I say? Leads the team in tackles, leads the team in interceptions, and he's everywhere. Like, he can do whatever he wants on this field. This guy doesn't put a foot wrong. He is one of the better middle linebackers we've had in a couple of years here in Seattle, and he's doing everything. So can't give much more love to Ernest Jones than I already have. But let's get to the other interception leader, and it's Kobe Bryant. 7 games played, 2 interceptions, 43 yards on those receptions, and 4 passes defended. The strong safety, the third year strong safety, comes in, and Kobe Bryant, ever since being drafted by the Seahawks, first at corner and then moved to safety, transitioned to safety in Pete Carroll's last year here, has really put in the work. He is becoming a bona fide strong safety for us by the pairing of Julian Love. And even while working with Kyle Cotta this year, he's done amazing things. He's breaking up passes. He is a feisty player. Getting those 2 interceptions, that just shows how good he is. He he's not only the interception guy, but when you need a big hit, he is also there, and he makes those hits plus the interceptions. He is a fantastic strong safety for this Seahawks team. Let's get to special teams. Jason Myers, the kicker, 13 for 17 on field goals, 22 for 22 on extra points, has made a 56-yard field goal as his long for this season, and has a total of 61 points for this team on special teams. Jason Myers, man, what a reliable kicker. He is he has been so reliable for the Seahawks. He's won them so many games over the years, and I can't really say much more about him. He's been really good this year, even in the field goal department, like 13 for 17, not too terrible. He had 1 blocked kick in there, I believe. So I'm not blaming him on this season. I think he's done really well. And 56 yards is not a no slouch for a kicker in this NFL. Punter Michael Dixon, 26 punts, 1,276 yards on his total punts this year, and he's averaging 49.1 per punt. He has 10 inside the 20 and 2 touchbacks. And that is why Michael Dixon is the highest paid punter in the NFL. Just on stats alone, this guy, ever since coming to the Seahawks, ever since being drafted by the Seahawks, he's been the punter of dreams. He's been, I think, arguably a better punter than John Ryan was back in the day in the Legion of Boom days, and he's done immaculate. He just goes in, does his job, and sets the defense up for success, just like he's done for many years. And great season right now from Michael Dixon. Let's get to the return game, and it's the kickoff returner, George Holani, running back, 14 returns for 358 total yards, averaging 25.6 yards per return. His longest return was 34 yards and no touchdowns. George Holani and Derek Young. Derek Young is also there in the dynamic kickoff returns for the Seahawks. He's done very well this year. Last year it was Laviska Shenault in that spot, and Laviska Shenault wasn't really the greatest return man. They bring in George Holani. He gets on the roster to play special teams, and he's doing a lot better in that position. I really like George Holani, and I think he's having a really good season here on special teams. Punt returner, Corey Horton, the rookie, the 6th-round pick out of Colorado State, has 16 punts returned for 238 yards total, 14.9 yards per return. His longest was the 95-yard touchdown. And man, not only has he broken a franchise record, one set by Tyler Lockett, I believe, in 2015, but Corey Horton, not only in the return game, has been a beautiful addition, but in the pass game, like when he's gotten his passes, when he's gotten his targets, he's done very well for himself. So I'm really happy with the sixth round pick out of Colorado State. Let's get to Ryan's player spotlight. And I was going to talk about Sam Darnold more. And with these player spotlights, I'm giving you some of the reasons why I'm talking about these players here because I think it's very much important and needs to be said. So we already went over his stats: 7 games played, 68.2% completions, 1,754 yards, 250.6 yards per game, 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 9 sacks, 3 fumbles, and 2 fumbles lost. My reason for choosing Sam Darnold this year was this. I think Sam Darnold has played fantastic this year so far. In his first year in this Clint Kubiak offense, he seems very comfortable in the pocket. His footwork is something I've really admired about him this season. And ever since coming over from the Vikings, that's one of the things that I've noticed in his game. His ability to sense pressure as well is another thing I've really liked about his game. His awareness, his calmness, his ability to throw accurate passes in the pocket through some tight windows is also something that I've really loved. And I know it's only the first year of his deal, and we're not even through a full season yet. However, if this is how Darnold looks for the next 3 years for the Seahawks, I'll take it because he is a game manager. I've said that multiple times in my Seahawk game recaps, and I still stand by it. And I think that's all you need him to be is a game manager because he's utilizing the talent in front of him in this West Coast style of offense. So it's been really great to see Sam Darnold do the things he's been able to do. And I really think that, again, it's early. It's not even a full season yet, but I really think he can lead us to the playoffs and do well in them if he gets a chance to. Let's talk about wide receiver Jackson Smith and Jigba. 7 games played, 50 receptions, 819 yards, averaging 117 yards per game, averaging 16.4 per catch, and 4 touchdowns. This season has been pivotal for Jackson Smith and Jigba. Not only is he on pace to blow his receiving numbers, his reception numbers, and his touchdown numbers out of the water, but he has taken on a bigger role this year. Again, you've heard me talk about it before, but I'm going to talk about it again. He came in 2020. He was the first receiver taken off the draft, 20th overall, and he was used as a slot guy for this Mike McDonald offense when he came in with Ryan Grubb. And they had Tyler Lockett, they had DK Metcalf. He was the slot guy. And now this season, they no longer have either Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf. He's become the sole number 1 guy, and he's playing on the outside a lot more because of the addition of Cooper Kupp, and he's thriving there, guys. Like this, I cannot say enough about Jackson Smith and Jigba because man, he's not only an Ohio State Buckeye who are known for making that school is known for making wide receivers, but he's so talented in the way he runs routes. His release is explosive. He can get off the ball and he can even go up and catch it and, not lose any of his speed and athleticism when he goes up to just wrestle the ball from people. And he's so quick that even when he's facing the best corners, like let's look at last week when he was facing Derek Stingley. Derek Stingley is no slouch. He is a really, really good corner. And he toasted him a lot of the time. And that's just a testament to Jackson Smith and Jigba and how he is who he is as a player. I really can't say enough about him because I think he will be a generational talent. He's putting people on notice already that he can be a generational talent for the Seahawks. And I hope he is because he's an amazing player to watch. Let's get to tight end AJ Barner, I wanted to give him his flowers this year because he's played 7 games, had 18 receptions, had 212 yards, had 11.8 yards per reception, and 4 touchdowns. This is a guy in the second year, the tight end out of Michigan, has really had a good season this year. His numbers might not look all too impressive. However, I think Clint Kubiak really likes him in this system. Garner has now emerged as a red zone threat and another option for Darnold to just use when needed. I think Barner is going to have a breakout year this year and continue to show that in his second year, he could become and solidify his starting tight end position. He is a very, very capable blocker. And he, in the pass game, he's been a reliable target. That's all you want out of your tight ends is reliability when in the red zone, especially because, again, it's a cliche, but QBs, when they have a guy that's 6'4", 6'6", 6'5", and they're a tight end with a big body frame, they're going to be looking for that guy in the end zone, no doubt. And he's become a very good tight end in the red zone down there. That's why he has 4 touchdowns this year. He's coming in, and now that Noah Fant's no longer there, he's taken over that role out of necessity, and he's shone there and is really putting Mike McDonald on notice as well as Clint Kubiak that he could be a very good tight end in the future. Let's get to the defense, talking about DT slash nose tackle. Byron Murphy the second, 7 games played, 11 solo tackles, 18 assisted, 4.5 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, 4 TFLs, and 6 hurries on the year. All I've got to say about Byron Murphy this year is that he looks a lot more comfortable in his second year with the Seahawks at nose tackle. He's put up the numbers to show it, and he is, as of this recording, leading all DTs in sacks at the moment. And he's been a vital part of this Seahawks run defense. You look at last year, one of the things they really struggled with was the defensive front. And that came down to Byron Murphy being the nose tackle. Byron Murphy, since coming in to the league, being picked 16th overall in the 2023 draft from Texas, was not a guy that you expected to, you know, play the nose tackle position. He was more of what they call a 3 technique type of DT. And the Seahawks needed a nose tackle, like badly, because they haven't had one in many years that's been great. And they've finally put him at nose tackle, said, "You're going to play nose tackle for us, whether you like it or not." And he's adjusted. And he's putting up the numbers that I think a lot of people were expecting from him last year. In 7 games, he's done so much better. You can see on the field his technique is a lot better. His willingness to just beef up your run game is a lot better. And I point back to the Jaguars game where I believe on the first play, on the first drive for the Jaguars, he came in there and he just chased down Trevor Lawrence and sacked him and he buried him. And it's just a testament to how much he's grown as a player, how much his skill set's improved. And man, that 16th overall selection in the 2023 draft, John Schneider said it was a steal. Mike McDonald said it was a steal. They might have been right. So I'm really loving the stuff we're seeing out of Byron Murphy. I think he's had a fantastic season this year. I hope he can keep it up. Now we're getting on to one of my favorite players. It's outside linebacker slash edge Uchenna Nwosu. 6 games played this season, 8 solo tackles, 9 assisted, 3 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, no forced fumbles, and 6 hurries. And what a year for Uchenna Nwosu it's been after having a couple years with the Seahawks derailed by injuries. This guy finally has come back and is making huge plays and having a statement season so far. He's in a spot where he's part of the lethal edge group that the Seahawks have built. Derek Hall, Boya Mafe himself. You've got Marcus Lawrence now on that team, and it's just that edge rush group is so lethal because now Mike McDonald can just rotate guys out. And he still gets the same result. He's getting sacks. He's getting pressure on the quarterback. He's fixed this pass rush, and that's a testament to how good Uchenna Nwosu's playing. He's leading the team in sacks right now with 5, right behind Byron Murphy. And I think what's very um, great for him is that he was brought in, Pete Carroll brought him in, and he brought him in from the Chargers. When he signed, all people were talking about was his injury history and how he can't stay healthy. And for the first 2 years of his contract, he could not stay healthy. He couldn't stay on the field. He had some massive injuries to him. And when he is healthy, he worked his way back. And I think when he worked his way back, he needed something to prove because he lost his spot at the right outside linebacker position to Derek Hall. And now he's putting in a statement where he is now healthy. He is in a rotational pass rush. He is a rotational pass rush player, and he is doing immaculate this year. I love what he's done for this team, and I'm so happy he's back because I liked this guy on the Chargers when I was watching the Chargers a little bit, and when he was on the Seahawks, I was actually ecstatic with this. I was really happy about this signing, and I can't wait to see if he can keep up this play and stay healthy for the rest of his contract. Let's talk about the final player I wanted to talk about today. It's cornerback Josh Jobe. 7 games played, 36 solo tackles, 8 of them assisted, half a sack, 1 interception, and 6 passes defended. I really wanted to highlight Josh Jobe this year in particular because with the Seahawks being without Devin Witherspoon, Josh Jobe has become extremely important to the Seahawks secondary in this defense. This season, he's shown that he's not only just a third corner option, he's tenacious, and even when he gets beat on certain plays, he still tries his hardest to get back into position and disrupt the pass wherever he can. He's helpful in the run game when he needs to be. And that's the kind of player you want. I also wanted to talk about a little bit of his story because he came in to this Seahawks team at 27 and he was a practice squad player. And the Seahawks last season needed help. They needed somebody at that third corner spot because Trey Brown wasn't doing it. Josh Jobe got into a couple of games last year and played his heart out. He played for his life, for his job. And now going in, he got signed to a 3-year contract last year because of his play. And he is showing that that was a very good investment. I love me some Josh Jobe, not only because he is an underdog of a player, a guy coming up from the practice squad and fighting for his job and doing what he needs to do to secure a job in the NFL with the Seahawks, but he's doing things this season. He's trying to fill Devin Witherspoon's shoes. And if you know anything about Devin Witherspoon, he was not only a first round pick, 5th overall in the 2020 draft. But Devin Witherspoon's a freak. He is one of the best corners on the Seahawks team, and Josh Jobe has to play in his spot, and he's doing fantastic at it. So I'm really happy with Josh Jobe's performance this year, and I hope he continues this because once Devin Witherspoon comes back, Josh Jobe can then go in the slot and play there and still wreak havoc where he should. My final thoughts. What has gone well for this team? Overall, this season has been going very well from my perspective. The defense has only gotten better, even with the injuries in the secondary, and the defensive front has only put in the work more to stop the run and get more pressure on the opposing QBs, something that was sorely lacking last year. In terms of the offense, Clint Kubiak has I think, really put this offense together in a way that I really like. Again, he's using the same kind of West Coast style offense that Pete Carroll used to use, and he's doing it in a way that is using the running back. Again, Mike McDonald wanted this offense to be a run centric team. Clint Kubiak went, okay, you want this team to be run centric? We've got two running backs in our system that are amazing in Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. And he's doing a lot of good things. He's running I formation, which is something that I'm really starting to grow accustomed to with Robbie Oots and Brady Russell at fullback there. They've done really well in the blocking up front from the O line. I think this O line is done pretty darn decent, considering that the Seahawks didn't have a run game last year. And I really like this team. It's on offense and defense. On the offensive side, you're getting the predictability of the Ryan Grubb offense out of there. They're not being forced to have to throw it all the time in an air raid style. They're actually getting both running and passing in there, and that's led to their success. That's why I think they're 5-2 right now, because they're just mixing things up and screwing with uh, defensive coordinators around the league. But like everything, what to improve on. In terms of what to improve on for the remainder of the Seahawks season, I think Clint Kubiak really needs to stop with the trick plays. I think they are detrimental to the team. Don't get me wrong. I like the creativity. I don't want you to stop with the creativity. I just really would like it if you could not have Cooper Cup throw a ball, because he obviously can't do that. He's not built for that. He's a wide receiver. He can't throw a football very well. As you saw on Monday Night Football versus the Texans, where he completely missed Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Carlos Blacklock got that pick easy as pie. It ruins drives, and it ruins a little bit of momentum. It's happened a couple times, especially with the Jalen Murrow plays. Like I love Jalen Murrow. I think he can be a fantastic quarterback. I think as a QB3, his time in the league will come. He just needs to sit behind and learn from these guys. But that's something on the offense that I think they need to stop doing. I think they need to stop with the trick plays, like the AJ Barner QB sneak kind of thing that they've been doing. That's been working, so you can keep that in your arsenal, and you can still do fancy things and stuff like that. Just try not to kill the momentum of the drive, please. Like that would be great. Also, our third down conversion rate has been abysmal this year. I don't know what it is with our third downs, but we're getting put in third and long situations, and it's not been great. It's something that's been killing drives too. You've been running a lot on third down in the Clint Kubiak style of offense, and that would be great. But if you're third and 16 or you're third and 15, I wouldn't run. I tried to pass there. On the defensive side of the ball, I think they've been playing great. The only thing that I would say they need to work on is the communication in the secondary, especially. While they're waiting for Julian Love and Devin Witherspoon to get back from injury, the rest of the secondary really needs to be on the same page to keep up this excellent form. And it's just a communication thing. You've got guys like Shaq Griffin who are coming in and playing. He was playing against the Bucks, and I think when you look at it, there's a bunch of different issues that you can say for this team in the Bucks game. They just got into a shootout because the communication from the secondary wasn't there against a high-powered Bucks team. My final thoughts: I love this team so far. They've shown through the first 7 games that they are in a prime position to fight for the NFC West lead for this division. That would be an amazing feat if they could win this division this year, because I think in the playoffs, I think they'll make it to the playoffs. Like, I think I've nailed it on the head here with my predictions from this season. 10 wins is this team's floor. This team can definitely win 10 games. And they're showing out. It's a different team this year. Being 5-2 is something that I love to see coming into the bye week in week 8, because by this time last year, by week 10, we had a bye week and we were below 500. Now we're over 500. I want this to continue because I think they could do some real damage in the playoffs, the Seahawks, if they make it there. However, that is it for my Seahawk bye week show of week 8 for this year. Tell me in the comment section down below, how are you feeling about the Seahawks season so far through 7 games? Because I am mostly positive. There are things that, yeah, I can nitpick and I can say, you need to fix this, you need to fix that, like the communication and, getting rid of the trick plays, but that's about it. I like this team. I like this team with the injuries that they've suffered. Like, it's been big for them in the secondary. Julian Love and Devin Witherspoon being out, plus Derek Hall being out, is not ideal. But once they get back, like if this team is playing like this without those guys, imagine what happens when they come back and they're healthy. Oh, it's going to be amazing. I will see you guys in the next video when the Seahawks get back in action in week 9 when they take on the Washington Commanders on the road. Go Hawks, go, and have a good day. Take care of yourselves.